Welcome everybody, I'm Marc from Augustine Maria. This is Augustine's Cooking at Home. Today we are making a little bit of a controversial dish. We're making our Sunday sauce that we serve at the restaurant. The reason why it's controversial is because some people out there call it Sunday gravy. There's a whole thing online about who's right and who's wrong. It really comes down to household and what you called it. In my house it was Sunday sauce. And I have friends that lived across the street that called it gravy. So whatever it is, that's what we're making today. We're making Sunday sauce. So very simple, okay. It's a meal in itself. Every Sunday my mother would start in the morning. She would go out and she'd get sausage, pork ribs, grab some of her meatballs, and she'd start the process of cooking. Now that sauce would last all week, and she'd sometimes she'd cook all the meatballs and just throw them in the freezer, but that was kind of the base for the week. You know, she would use the meats for sandwiches, or she would heat up some of the meat and give it to us with a little bit of salad during you know, like a Monday or Tuesday, and then we'd have leftovers throughout the week. It was kind of like a one dish wonder, and of course on Sunday we'd have it. Everybody would sit down at the table. She'd bring out the pasta, she'd bring out the meats, she'd bring out salad, and we'd just, you know, talk about life and everything. So it was just it was family time. So at the restaurant we do it on Sundays. We serve it the same way we'd serve it at my mother's house, and I'm going to show you how we do that here. So I have some meatballs here. They're browning. I loved as a kid to like sneak these when they're just like this, a little bit medium rare on the inside, and just gobble them up right out of the frying pan. I love them that way. All right, so let's get this going. We have our meatballs browning here. We have our pan here. It is hot, so we're just gonna add a little bit of oil to it. All right, we're gonna turn this up full steam. All right, now you can use any kind of combination of meats. Today we're using meatballs, we have pork ribs, and we have sausage. You can also put in short ribs. You can also put in braciole if you have it. Really anything you have, all right? This is not, again, this is not like a recipe that you really have to think about. This is a poor man's kind of whatever you had, throw in the pot, throw in the sauce. It was family day. You know, the mother usually was cooking, and she'd throw everything in the pot. She'd go about her housework and just leave it on the stove for a while. So don't try to overthink it. Don't get fancy with it. Just leave it as it is, rustic. All right. So we have these beautiful sausages here. Okay. It's a little hot, so we're going to start to sear these off. Okay. I like to sear them in the pan. It adds that caramelization from it, and then you get that throughout the sauce. Okay. The meatballs I always saute separately, just because I'm usually doing a lot of it and I don't want them to burn. So the ribs here, I'm just going to salt and pepper. All right. And we're just going to drop those in there too. Okay. Now if you guys can see that beautiful caramelization on the sausages. Okay, that's really what you want to get. You want to start building that flavor. This is something that's very simple. And again, I tell everyone that when they're asking me, you know, about cooking or whatever, it's simple dishes like this. You need good ingredients, and you need just to respect the recipe. You know, don't go too crazy with different ingredients. Keep it simple, use good ingredients, and you'll get a good meal. We're going to throw in our meatballs here. Okay. Now to this, we're going to add some chopped onion. Okay. And we're going to throw in some garlic. Okay. Again, we're using whole garlic cloves as opposed to stuff you'd find in the refrigerator that's already ground for you. Using whole garlic cloves is a whole lot better than that. All right, so our meat is starting to look good here. It's starting to brown. The onions are starting to get translucent. We're gonna let it go for a minute. We're gonna get our tomatoes. Here I have a 1 can of tomatoes that I've pureed. I pureed it because I wanted it smooth. Sometimes, most of the time I like my tomatoes hand crushed, so you get pieces of fillet of tomato in the sauce. Kind of adds texture to it. This one I want it to be pure and smooth. All right. So the onions have become translucent and they're starting to get nice little color on them. The meats are really starting to smell. Starting to remind me of a nice Sunday at home. We're gonna add the sauce in there, all right? Okay, so now we've got the tomatoes in there. We're gonna bring this up to a full heat. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt now. Again, as always, I know I sound like a broken record, but you wanna keep on salting as you go and building those flavors. That way when you taste something, everything throughout the dish is seasoned. Okay, so we're gonna bring this up to a boil, and then we're gonna put it on for a very, very, very low flame. All right, just so that it bubbles, bloop, 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 bloop. All right, you don't want to go in too hot. All right, so we're gonna take it up to a boil. We're gonna reduce it down to just a very, very light simmer, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna make a salad to go with it. We're gonna make some garlic bread, and then we're gonna cook the pasta and get this ready. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're making Sunday sauce. We have the Sunday sauce already working. We are going to be making some salad and toasted bread. This is just as my mother would serve it. We have the sauce going. It's been going all day, very low. As you can see here, it's just about ready. I'm gonna put on some water in a second, but that's ready to go. So what we would do is, usually my mother would be in the kitchen all day in the morning. She'd usually make this. She'd usually make a roast or something like that, and that would be the food for the week. The Sunday sauce obviously would be that day, and then we would eat the leftovers all week, and whatever roast she made, we'd eat that. What she would serve with it is just really simple. Again, these are all just simple, really simple recipes. She would just toast some bread. Okay, again, Italians, we always have bread laying around just in case something happens. We're gonna put that in the broiler for a minute. Okay, we're just gonna throw together a very simple salad. I have a little bit of mesclun. I have some tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, just gonna throw that in there. Okay, I have a cucumber that we're just going to dice, slice. Okay, again, just very simple, easy. You're not overthinking it. These are recipes just meant to be thrown together and enjoyed rather than mulled over or thought about. Okay. We're gonna cut up some onions and just throw them on there. Okay. Now we're gonna start off with our dressing. We're just gonna do a very basic dressing. Okay, we have some Cabernet vinaigrette here. We have a little oil. Just gonna whisk those two together. Okay. And just throw that on there. And we're gonna put that over to the side. All right. Now we'll get out our bread and see how that looks. All right. Our bread needs another minute, so we'll get that going, and then we're gonna put on the water for the pasta. We'll get everything together and we'll plate it up in a minute. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we've pulled out our bread from the oven. It's nice and toasted. We're gonna rub it with a little bit of garlic. All right, give it that nice garlic flavor. Once you dip this in the sauce, with that nice garlic, olive oil. It's just amazing. It just smells so amazing. All right, so we're gonna put those there. We're gonna take this. All right, so our sauce is done. We've turned it off. We're gonna add a little bit of basil in a second. We have our pasta rolling here. We're gonna take our spaghetti and we're gonna break it. No, I'm kidding, we're not gonna break it. We're gonna throw that in there whole, okay? Wait for it to bend and then mix it around a little bit. We're gonna take some basil here, okay? Growing up during the summers in the garden, my father would always have a big thing of basil on the counter. And always a big thing of tomatoes, garden tomatoes. That was kind of always a staple during the summer. All right, so we got our basil in there. We have our pastas now in the water, okay? I use specifically dry pasta, and I only use dry pasta because it holds up better in the sauce than fresh pasta, in my opinion, and that's the way I've always eaten it. And that's why I like using dry pasta. That's what we use at the restaurant. All right, so our pasta's in, our Sunday sauce is done. We're just gonna wait for that. We have our salad ready, we have our bread. When we come back, we're gonna plate everything and we're gonna dig into it. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So our pasta's cooked. It's al dente. I just strained it. I have a little bit of sauce here and I have my Sunday sauce ready to go. I also have my salad and my bread. Sunday dinner is complete. We're just gonna throw this together now. So I'll take my pasta here, okay, and I'm gonna toss it with the sauce, okay. And I always like to make sure that I toss the pasta with the sauce. All right, make sure I cook it together with it. It just adds, really absorbs all that sauce, the spaghetti, the pasta. All right, I'm gonna get my bowl now. For this bowl is where we're gonna put the meat. All right. Okay. So we're gonna turn it down a little bit. And we're gonna put our meat here. Okay. We have that beautiful sausage, meatballs, pork ribs. Look at that, it just smells amazing. This has been going all day and it's just the smell in here. The flavor that it makes, it's just amazing. All right, so that is our meat plate. I'm just gonna take a little sprig of basil and just throw that on top. All right, boom. Now, to finish the spaghetti, I'm just gonna give it a toss. I added a little bit of olive oil to it. I'm just gonna add off the heat. I turned the heat off. I'm just gonna add a little bit of Parmigiano on top, okay? All right. Now we're gonna add that to our bowl. Yeah, right in the middle. Okay. Put that back here. All right, now we're almost ready. We're just going to clean that plate up a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of basil to it. Nice sprig of basil on top. That almost looks like the perfect portion too. All right, so we're gonna make it snow here a little bit with Parmigiano Reggiano. Again, I'm always using real stuff. Buy yourself some real Parmesan. All right. Now, we have our salad, we have our bread, we have our meats, and now usually my mother would always have a gravy boat full of sauce on the side, so that you could always just add a little bit extra to your meal and dunk your bread in. But that was our Sunday meal, and that's our Sunday dinner. Again, everybody gathered around the table, just letting everybody know how the week was, how the week is, with great food, and that's what family time was all about. All right, and we'll enjoy this with your family, and thank you for cooking with us. I'm Marc Sarah, and we'll see you next time.